Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandapanam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you to Anandini Gopika Mataji, Vishwanath Prabhu for leading the chanting this morning. Start with our Mangalacharan. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminate Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatideshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay, let's continue with our prayers. So we are reciting Sri Nityananda Ashtakam this week on the auspicious appearance day of Sri Nityananda Prabhu this week on Friday. Let me share my screen. Anybody else would like to try singing today? It's just like Jagannath Ashtakam. Jagannatha Swami Nainapatakami Bhavatme. Okay, I will sing today then, and then maybe later in the week other devotees can sing. Sri Nityananda Ashtakam by Shri Rabindranath Das Thakur Mahasaya. सरच्चन्द्रभ्रान्तिं स्फुरदमलकान्तिं गजगतिं हरिप्रेमोन्मत्तं धृतपरमसत्त्वं स्मितमुखं सदा घूर्णन्नेत्रं करकलितवेत्रं कलिभिदं भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि रसानामागारं स्वजनगणसर्वस्वमतुलं तदीयैकप्राण प्रमितवसुधाजानवपतिं सदा प्रेमोन्मादं परमविदितं मन्दमनसां भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि शचीसूनुप्रेष्ठं निखिलजगदिष्टं सुखमयं कलौ मज्जज्जीवो धरणकरणो दामकरुणम् हरेराख्यानाद्वा भवजलधिगर्वोन्नतिहरं भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि अये भ्रातर्नीनां कलिकलुषिणां किं नु भविता तथा प्रायश्चित्तं रचय यदनायास्तत इमे व्रजन्ति त्वामित्थं सह भगवता मन्त्रयति यो भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि यथेष्टं रे भ्रातः कुरु हरिहरिध्वानमनिशं ततो वः संसाराम्बुधितरणदायो मयि लगेत् इदं बाहुस्फोटेरटति रटयन् यः प्रतिगृहं भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि बलात् संसाराम्भो निधिहरणकुम्भोद्भवमहो सतां श्रेयः सिन्धून्नतिकुमुदबन्धुं समुदितं खलश्रेणी स्फुरजित् तिमिरहरसूर्यप्रभमहं भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि नटन्तं गायन्तं हरिमनुवदन्तं पथि पथि व्रजन्तं पश्यन्तं स्वमपि न दयन्तं जनगणं प्रकुर्वन्तं सन्तं सकरुणदृगन्तं प्रकलनात् भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि सुबिभ्राणं भ्रातुः करसरसिजं कोमलतरं मिथो वक्त्रालोको छलितपरमानन्दहृदयम् भ्रमन्तं माधुर्यैरहमदयन्तं पुरजनान् भजे नित्यानन्दं भजनतरुकन्दं निरवधि रसानामाधारं रसिकवरसद्वैष्णवधनं रसागारं सारं पतितततितारं स्मरनतः परं नित्यानन्दाष्टकमिदमपूर्वं पठति यः तदङ्घ्रिद्वन्द्वाब्जं स्फुरतु नितरां तस्य हृदये हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री नित्यानंदाष्टकम की जय। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर महाशय की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Anybody would like to read the translation?
I can read.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Go ahead.
No, please, Shreya Mataji. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I perpetually worship Sri Nityanand Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, whose bright face mocks the full autumn moon, whose pure complexion glistens, whose gait is like that of a maddened elephant, who is always intoxicated in Krishna Prem, who embodies pure spiritual energy, whose face holds a gentle smile, whose eyes are always rolling due to his absorption in Krishna Prem, whose lotus hand holds a glowing staff, and who, by the performance of Nam Sankirtan, pierces the influence of Kali Yuga. I perpetually worship Sri Nityanand Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who is the mainstay of all the rasas, who is everything to his devotees, who is beyond compare, who is the master of both Vasud and Janva Devi, who consider him more dear than their own lives, who is always maddened in Krishna Prem, and who is unknown only to those of meager intelligence. I perpetually worship Sri Nityanand Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who is very dear to Sri Sachinandan, who is worshipped by the entire universe, who is the embodiment of happiness, who possesses infinite mercy for delivering the souls who are drowning in the age of Kali, and who, by the performance of Sri Harinam Sankirtan, thwarts the progressing false pride of the ocean of repeated birth and death. I perpetually worship Sri Nityanand Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who said to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Hey brother Gauranga, what will be the destination of the sinful souls of Kali Yuga, and how will they be redeemed? Please devise a method by which they will easily attain you. I perpetually worship Sri Nityanand Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who wandered around Bengal and approaching the door of each and every home, threw open his arms and exclaimed, O brothers, all of you should eternally perform Sri Harinam Sankirtan together. By doing so, I'll take the responsibility to deliver you all from the ocean of material existence. I eternally worship Sri Nityanand Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who is the Agastya Muni who forcibly swallows the ocean of repeated birth and death, who is a rising full moon which increases the ocean of the saintly person's welfare, and who is a sun which dissipates the darkness of ignorance cast by the various classes of miscreants. I eternally worship Sri Nityanand Prabhu, the root of the tree of Krishna Bhakti, who wandered on every path in Bengal dancing, singing, and calling out Hari Bol, and who lovingly bestowed merciful sidelong glances upon those who were not compassionate to even their own selves. I eternally worship Sri Nityanand Prabhu, the root of the Krishna Bhakti tree, who held the supremely soft lotus hand of his brother Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, whose heart became filled with the highest bliss when the two brothers gazed into each other's faces, and who wandered here and there, delighting the townspeople with his sweetness. May Sri Nityanand Prabhu place his lotus feet in the heart of one who lovingly recites this unprecedented Nityananda Ashtaka, which is the reservoir of rasa, the greatest treasure of the most exalted of Rasika Vaishnavas, and the storehouse of the essence of Bhakti Rasa. This ashtak is sung in the melody known as Sikharini. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shri Mataji. Any verse that you liked from this prayer, or anything that touched your heart?
Yes, Prabhu, the one which, especially, which I think when I was introduced to this and this movement, and what stayed with me was, that uh, Nityanand Prabhu and Chaitanya Prabhu both went down on their knees and actually went to each and every house, begging everybody to just say once, to chant the holy name, which really touched that how they were they were like so eager, for somebody to chant just once the holy name that will change their life. So yeah, that was that's such the Lord himself is coming, and on his knees he's telling that please chant. So that just tells you how important it is to chant the holy name.
Mhm. Thank you, Shri Mataji. Yes, that is like we read again and again, right? Bhajanityanandam, Bhajanataru Nirvadi. That's the root instruction, right? So when you water the root, like Prabhupada says, then everything else happens, right? Everything else is nourished. So, so yeah, when we chant the holy names, that is the root of bhakti. When we chant the holy name, because that is what Nityananda Prabhu has come to give. And how beautiful it is that, when you chant, just like we say again, Shravanam and Kirtanam. So first you have to hear this instruction, right? Only if you're, so Shravanam and Kirtanam are the root. You start there, and everything else starts happening after that. You'll have Vishnu Smaranam, then you'll do Archanam, you'll have more prayers, Vandanam, then you'll do more Sakyam, uh, Dasyam, Sakyam, and Atmanivedam. All the stages will start happening automatically. But yeah, the root is what we have to nourish first. And nice instruction. And again, yeah, like he's going door to door, like you said, in Bengal. And like we saw also, and they each other see their face, right? So when you do Shravanam Kirtanam, then Vishnu Smaranam, you'll start seeing, right? You'll like when you have the Naam, like we were saying yesterday. Once you have the Naam, then you'll start having the Roop, the darshan of the Roop of the Lord. You'll have more remembrance of the Lord. Right? So Naam se Roop aayega, फिर गुण आएगी. You'll want to hear more and more about the Guna and the Leela of the Lord. So everything Prabhupada is just like so nicely given, everything, very step by step. And like he was saying yesterday to his disciples and Prabhupada with that, you have a huge task ahead, but it is quite easy and simple if you follow like what I'm doing, right? So everything becomes, again, it's very easy and simple. Sometimes we get lost in the giant things ahead of us, but if we follow this path simply as Prabhupada has taught us, then everything else will start happening. So that is the instruction of the spiritual master, the Guru, as we are reading this week. And this week of Sri Nityananda Prabhu's appearance is very important. So we should we should obey the instructions of our spiritual masters, acharyas. And like Prabhupada also said yesterday that everything becomes, in this world, initially it will be very hard, because he was giving the example of that rules and regulations. Like we have to follow rules and regulations, but we have to tolerate them. They may be painful initially, but when we tolerate them, then our bodies get used to it. Right? Like the other day when Antadeep Prabhu was here, right? He was mentioning that we don't suffer through our body, we suffer through our mind, right? Our mind is the instrument which helps us experience the pain or the pleasure, right? So, but when we train our body, ultimately we're training our mind. And that's what we see. Mostly successful people in this world, they've all controlled their mind. If you're able to control your mind, then you're able to make, rapid advancement. So, and this process is very simple in bhakti given by Nityananda Prabhu and by our acharyas, is to chant the holy names. Directly you're controlling your mind, slowly but steadily. Like he was giving, I was just remembering that story that Prabhupada was giving yesterday of the servants who are stealing, right? So in the material world, he said, they are bona fide servants, in material, he was giving a material example that, his father's friend had a company and then he was not paying them enough. But then when somebody asked him, why are you not paying these servants? Then he said, well, I'm paying them so much and they're stealing so much. So it's being made up, right? So like that. So that's the material example. But if you think of that spiritually, how happy our spiritual masters and parampara would be. If we become bona fide servants in spiritual life and we can steal, this nectar of bhakti from them, they are actually more willing, like you said, Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have come to actually, give this treasure, openly. There's like everybody can plunder this, so we can steal this process of bhakti, this ultimate love of Godhead, and they'll be so glad if we can steal this, So in spiritual world, they're waiting for us to steal this treasure, but we are so unfortunate that we have not taste for the holy name and no taste for making progress. I'm speaking for myself, but yeah, I'm so fallen that we don't have taste for getting this as soon as possible. So that is a small endeavor that we need to do. Okay, let's continue with chapter 65 as we are coming towards the end of Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. So Prabhupada is in Mexico and giving his classes in Bhagavad Gita. Let's read. So there are some questions. Prabhupada gave the class yesterday on the second chapter, and now we'll see what questions are there from the audience. As always, there are questions. Hridayananda Maharaj, he would like to become Krishna conscious, but he wants to know if you believe in God. The absurdity of this question made the devotees laugh. Prabhupada, what is that? Hridayananda Maharaj, he wants to know if you believe in God. Prabhupada, I don't believe in God. You believe in God. Why I will not believe? If you can believe, I can believe also. It is not believing though, it is fact. We are explaining the fact, how the existence of God is there. There is no question of believe or not believe. The fact is fact. Hridayananda Maharaj, when we offer something to you, for example, to your picture, he wants to know if spiritually, simply by the act of offering, do we become purified, or is the spiritual master actually aware of the offering? Prabhupada, yes, the spiritual master is the representative of God. Whatever you offer to the spiritual master, it goes to God. Hridayananda Maharaj, his point is the spiritual master actually conscious of our activities? Prabhupada, the spiritual master may not be conscious, but God is conscious, and through God, he is also conscious. February 17, 1975. After 7 full days in Mexico City, Prabhupada was ready to leave for Caracas. Everyone gathered in the temple to hear his last talk. As usual, Hridayananda Maharaj, sitting at the feet of Prabhupada's Vyasasana, translated his talk. We have left our home and our father, Prabhupada began, and we are in this fallen material world, and we are suffering too much. It is exactly like a very rich man's son who leaves home for independence and wanders all over the world, unnecessarily taking trouble. A rich man's son has nothing to do. His father's property is sufficient for his comfortable life. Still, as we have got examples now in the Western countries, many rich men's sons become hippies, leave home, and unnecessarily take trouble. Our position as living entities within this material world is exactly like that. We have voluntarily come into this material world for sense enjoyment, and in sense enjoyment, we have forgotten our Supreme Father, God. The material nature's duty is to give us simply miserable condition of life. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhoga vancha kare, pashate maya tare japatiya dhare. Means as soon as the living entity wants to enjoy life without Krishna, without God, immediately he becomes under the clutches of Maya. So this is our position. We are under the control of Maya, and we can get out of it also, as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Mam eva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Anyone who surrenders unto me, he gets out of the control of Maya. We are therefore preaching all over the world Krishna consciousness or God consciousness and teaching the people how to surrender to Krishna and thus get out of the clutches of Maya. We have no other desire or ambition besides this. We plainly say, here is God. You surrender unto Him. You always think of Him. Offer your obeisances. Then your life will be successful. But the people in general, they are exactly like madmen. Simply for sense gratification, they are working so hard day and night. So devotees are very sorry to see their plight. Prahlad Maharaj had said, I am very sorry for these persons. Who are they? Soche tato vimukha chetasa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharam udvato vimudhan. These rascals, vimudhan, they have created a civilization, gorgeous civilization. What is that? Just like in your country, a gorgeous truck for sweeping. The business is sweeping, and for that they have manufactured a gorgeous truck. The sweeping can be done by hand. There are so many men, but they are loitering in the street, and a huge truck is required for sweeping. It is creating huge sound, and it is very dangerous also. But they are thinking this is advancement of civilization. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj said, Maya Sukhaya. just to get relief from sweeping. But there is no relief. They have got other troubles. But they are thinking, now we haven't got to sweep. It is such a great relief. Similarly, a simple razor can be used for shaving, but they have got so many machines. And to manufacture the machines, so many factories. So in this way, if we study item by item, this kind of civilization is called demoniac civilization. Ugra karma. Ugra karma means ferocious activities. So there is no objection for the material comforts, but actually you have to see whether they are comforts or miserable conditions. Therefore, our human form of life is meant for saving time to develop our Krishna consciousness. It is not meant for wasting unnecessarily because we do not know when the next death is coming. And if we do not prepare ourselves for the next life, because at any moment we can die, then we have to accept a body offered by the material nature. Therefore, I wish that all of you who have come to join this Krishna consciousness movement live very carefully so that Maya may not snatch you from the hand of Krishna. We can keep ourselves very steady simply by following the regulative principles and chanting minimum 16 rounds. Then we are safe. So you have got some information about the perfection of life. Don't misuse it. Try to keep it very steadily and your life will be successful. So if we follow the regulative principles and chant 16 rounds, then our life will be perfect. I think this instruction you will follow. That is my desire. Thank you very much. Tonio Fernandez. The last time Prabhupada spoke was in the morning. He said, I wish all of you will go back to Krishna. I remember those words very nicely because I understand that all the desires of a pure devotee are fulfilled. So I think his desires must be fulfilled. But when Prabhupada left, I personally felt alone because I was practically with him only for 8 days. It was a different style of life. Nanda Pran. When Prabhupada was leaving the house, he was coming down the stairs and they helped this one boy, Govinda Das, who was 4 years old, to make a garland. He was waiting for Srila Prabhupada downstairs. When Prabhupada came down, this boy was going to put the garland, but he was too little and could not reach Prabhupada's head. So Hridayananda Maharaj took the child and lifted him up so that Govinda Das was going to put the garland on Prabhupada's head. But before he could put it, Prabhupada took his hands and made the boy put the garland on himself. Roberto Ruiz. After coming from Chapultepec Park and chanting his rounds, then Srila Prabhupada went away. It was wonderful because all the devotees went out. When the car was leaving the temple, it looked like a rug, like a carpet. All the devotees were offering obeisances. It was ecstatic. They were waiting for Prabhupada to come again, but it wasn't possible. Tonio Fernandez. When we start talking about Prabhupada's visit to Mexico, we remember a lot of things. And when we start talking, we can go on talking and we can remember a lot of things. Talking about Srila Prabhupada is very hard because really we can't know him in 8 days. The 8 days passed so quickly, like a minute. It was the best thing that happened in our life to meet with Srila Prabhupada and his devotees. The whole mercy was given to me also because I stayed closely. The devotees were struggling always to see Prabhupada, the Matajis, the Brahmacharis, but I also stayed with him. When Prabhupada left, all of us stood at the gates looking at the car, and the atmosphere was very sad. I can't tell by words, but only feel it. It is a feeling of separation. When one serves the spiritual master, one serves Krishna. It was the most sad farewell for me. Caracas, February 18th, 1975. It was late at night. For years, the devotees had been hoping Prabhupada would visit. Every year, they heard he was coming, but every year, he didn't. But now, he had come. In the temple, conch shells sounded, and the kirtana was uproarious. Because of the government restrictions, the devotees had not publicized Prabhupada's arrival, which didn't seem to matter since the temple was more crowded than ever before, with dozens of guests, reporters, television news crew, with bright floodlights and cameras. The leading book distributor in the temple washed Srila Prabhupada's feet as Prabhupada sat on a raised Vyasasan overlooking 100 persons. The devotees, many of them from other countries in South America, and the guests, friends, seekers, and the curious, filled every inch of the floor space. As Srila Prabhupada sat, he beheld the two golden forms of the Gauranitai deities. He made obeisances to them when he first entered the room, and now he spoke of their mercy. You are very fortunate, he said. These two Prabhus, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, are present with us tonight. There is a song. You can follow? And he began to sing. Parama Karuna Bahudui Jana Nitai Gaura Chandra. No instruments or voices accompanied his singing, which carried through the still room. Everyone sat in hushed silence, fixed on him as he sang alone. सब अवतार सर शिरोमणि केवल आनंद कंद. Now that Prabhupada was in Caracas, seeing so many devotees and seeing Gauranitai presiding from their simple altar, he was most impressed and moved by the mercy of Shri Gauranitai. These two lords, he sang, were the essence of all incarnations and the most merciful. In this particular incarnation, the Lord said he would go everywhere to distribute his love. And here was the proof. They had come so far from their original place in Nadia in Bengal. Prabhupada himself was traveling so far, even on this day. He had already traveled hundreds of miles, and yet the two Prabhus were already here waiting, with arms upraised, shining effulgently. They had come to this distant place, Venezuela, and Prabhupada was deeply touched at how they had extended their mercy to the whole world. Tears glided down his cheeks, and his voice broke. The devotees became wonderstruck, appreciating Prabhupada's vision of the two deities on the altar. Prabhupada wasn't thinking that he was in South America with some Spanish speaking people, but he was seeing his beloved lords and feeling how they were delivering love of God to the fallen souls. Seeing Prabhupada's tears and hearing his choked voice, the people themselves became thrilled to behold genuine, transcendental ecstasy. It was like the ecstasy of Akrura on his way to Vrindavan. Akrura had been thinking of Krishna the whole time he was traveling, but when he arrived in Vrindavan and saw the actual imprints of Krishna's feet in the dust, he suddenly became mad in ecstasy and fell to the ground crying. How wonderful! Similarly, Srila Prabhupada was always living within the mercy of Shri Gauranitai and their mission, but suddenly seeing them with arms upraised in this particular place, where they were encouraging the people of South America to take to this temple, take to this simple, joyful process, a process which does not even require knowledge or understanding, but simply to chant Krishna's holy names. Seeing this mercy, Prabhupada himself was far more impressed than anyone by the mercy of these two Prabhus. Although the deity, the temple, and the devotees had only become manifest through Prabhupada's preaching, the fact that they were all here flourishing before he had ever come moved him to a visible ecstasy of love as the servant of the Lord. He was awed by the potency of Karanitai. The Caracas temple was situated on a hill overlooking the city. From his garden, Prabhupada, sitting in his rocking chair, could see the whole city of Caracas. The city of eternal spring spread out before him, shimmering in the valley below. Beyond the city loomed a tall green mountain. It was a spectacular vista. As the morning air warmed, Srila Prabhupada removed his sweater and placed it on the branches of a nearby tree. He sat, chanting on his beads. Later, he took off his shirt, placing it on another branch, and sat basking in the sunshine, chanting. Prabhupada's traveling servant and secretary were glad to see him sitting so restfully in the sunshine, since he traveled rapidly and his body was advanced in years. After only a few days here, he would quickly visit Miami, Atlanta, Dallas, New York, London, Tehran, Bombay, Calcutta, and then preside over the international gathering of his disciples in Mayapur. After Mayapur, Prabhupada would go to Vrindavan for the grand opening of the Krishna Balaram temple. In connection with the Mayapur festival and the Vrindavan temple opening, many matters were still pending, and all over the world, ISKCON affairs and devotees were awaiting Prabhupada's scrutiny and direction. But Prabhupada's traveling servants thought that if for a few days he received no mail or phone calls, then that was good. They were satisfied simply seeing their spiritual master sitting and chanting in the sunshine. Jagajivana. There was a little balcony above Srila Prabhupada's garden. I would go and sit there and just look at Prabhupada because in that way my eyes could become purified. I was also thinking how in Navadvip Dham there is a place called Narsimhapalli where Lord Narsimhadev rested on his way back to the spiritual world after killing Hiranyakashipu. Did the Lord need to rest? No, but it was part of his pastime and his devotees reciprocate with the Lord according to the Lord's desire. So I thought if my spiritual master wants to sit and overlook the city in a relaxed mood, let me worship him in that setting. The devotees of Caracas were delighted that Prabhupada was gazing upon their city. They felt that he was blessing the poor-hearted people of Caracas just by glancing down upon their homes as he chanted. While Prabhupada was present at their temple, the Sankirtan devotees of Caracas continued going down daily to the city to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books to the conditioned souls. But just knowing he was there, looking over the city, gave them strength. Okay, very bold. You all need the strength, so let's pause at the strength today. Yes, again, so wonderful, how this is beautifully coming along, where yeah, we are praying for mercy of Shri Nityananda Prabhu on this week of Nityananda Trayodasi, and Prabhupada is showing us that, yes, that mercy is there for all of us to take right here, right now, where we are. We all have, taken darshan of Shishi Gaur Nitai. Many of us have the deities at home. So, just as Prabhupada is always in the loving company of the lordships, the two Prabhus, and how just by looking at him, so many disciples, so many devotees, they're touched, deeply in the core of their soul, their heart. How what is pure transcendental ecstasy, right? This is pure transcendental joy, bliss, jubilation, like we were reading the other day. So yeah, it's so wonderful that the mercy of Shishi Gaur Nitai was coming to us in these last final passages of Prabhupada Leelamrit. And yeah, we were saying Bengal, right? He was going door to door in Bengal, and we were joking. We also have at least one Bengal. The good thing it's Cincinnati. We say that even though there's doubles in here, at least it has Bengal. We have the team name Bengals, right? So at least with that, we can pray fervently to Shri Nityananda Prabhu that here we also have Bengal. Nityananda Prabhu, please come door to door, come to our door and distribute this mercy so that we can get a drop. And with this drop, everything will be blissful, because in this world everybody's trying to make all these, like Prabhupada saying, fancy machines, gorgeous trucks and all of this, but it's all going to be useless. Like yesterday evening also we're reading scientists discussion with Swarup Damodar Goswami Maharaj. Prabhupada was saying, Swarup Damodar Maharaj was saying that this modern civilization, the scientists they're trying to invent so many new things, there's that, and now they're proud that they've invented plastic, and and then he was saying that plastic, ultimately they have no way to dispose that, right? It's just creating mess everywhere, right? So yeah, Prabhupada was saying, yes, in the old days, in the previous yugas, they used to eat in golden plates and silver plates, and now they've introduced plastic, and they're feeling very proud about that. So that is the degradation of the modern age. But the spiritual world, everything is Chintamani, right? Every small tiny particle, the whole floor, like we sing in the Brahma Samhita, right? Chintamani Pakara Sadguru Kalpavriksha. Now they're unlimited. The whole floor is made up of Chintamani, and one Chintamani stone can fulfill all desires. Like, if you want gold, if you want anything, if you want to travel anywhere, and everything is made possible by the Chintamani. It can fulfill all desires. And imagine the whole floor, everything is made up of Chintamani in the spiritual world, Golokadham. And there are unlimited kalpavrikshas, wish-fulfilling desire trees. So what is this world and this? And like Krishna says to Arjuna, this whole world is just held in one tiny speck, of dust of his lotus feet. The whole universe that we have around us is just one tiny speck of dust. So that is the potency of the Lord. And that potency is there for all of us to get, if we surrender to the instructions of the acharyas, to the instructions of Sri Krishna, as it says, Sharanagati. So this is the seva bhav, like we were saying yesterday. From enjoying propensity, we have to go back to serving propensity, servitor propensity, and that is our eternal identity. Like my acharyas say that we have to remember this formula, that मैं कृष्णा का हूँ और Krishna ही मेरे हैं, बस, nothing else, right? So I am Krishna's and only Krishna is ours. So that is Sharanagati, full surrender. Nobody else. Ananyas chintayan tamam, ananyacheta satatam, right? So not having multiple paths, or not having multiple options to go after. Just fully surrendered, complete surrender, Atmani Vedanam. So I was remembering this one funny story about service, right? So like you said, we have to go back from enjoy propensity to servitor propensity. So the one Bhakti Ashram Vaishnava Maharaj was sharing this one story of real life story. He was saying that how in this world we are all trying to be the enjoyers, right? And we think somebody else will serve us. Right. So he was saying this one time there was this one famous, or very wealthy person. He was invited for some function, and he was supposed to come and inaugurate some facility, something. So now this person is very, very wealthy, very kind of famous person, and he had for the function he had ordered some like a new kurta or something, and the kurta when it came, it turned out to be little bigger than his size. So now he told his and family, his wife was there. He had two daughters, and he had two daughter-in-laws. So he told his wife, "Okay, so I have to go for this function tomorrow. Can you make sure that this fits me properly because it's too loose?" And then she said, "Oh, no, I have no time right now. I have so many other things to take care of." So she didn't. And then he told his daughters, and they said the same thing. And he told his daughter-in-laws, they said the same thing. "Oh, we have to take care of this. Kids are going around. Kids have this class, that class, and so like that." So everybody ignored. And then finally, in the night, he was like, "See, this is the plight. I'm recognized outside. I have to go there, but nobody is here to serve and do this, adjustment to my kurta." And then finally, he himself decides that, "Okay, let me do it just 2 inches, and I'll try to do it." And then somehow or other he tries to do it, and he does it, and then he goes to bed. And then when he goes to bed, after that, his wife comes. And then she's saying, "Oh, my husband asked me to do this, but I couldn't do it. Let me now do it." So then she also takes scissors and she cuts, and then she also, fixes by 2 inches, and then she goes to bed. And after that, their daughter come, and then she says, "Oh, my father asked to do this, but I couldn't. How bad I am. So now let me go and do this." So she also does it. So, so in the morning when he wakes up and he tries to wear it, it's already, instead of 2 inches, perfection, now it has become 6 or 8 inches short. So he was just sharing this funny pastime that that is the service that we can expect in this world, right? And we are trying to ask others for service, but that is what happens when we expect service in this world. It's just a funny pastime. But service is what we need to develop and inculcate, and service to the lotus feet of the lordships. Okay, anybody else would like to share anything that you liked from today's reading?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna everyone. It was another beautiful reading, and my heart feels heavy that we are almost close to finishing a Prabhupada Lilamrit. But thank you to you and everyone present here. I want to just take the opportunity and wish Madananda Prabhu his very happy Krishna conscious birthday today, and request devotees to bless him so that he can serve Guru Gauranga and all the devotees. Happy birthday Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
You're very happy.
Happy Krishna conscious birthday,
Happy
Prabhu.
birthday to
Krishna conscious
you.
birthday, Prabhu.
Keep inspiring us like you always do. Hari Bol.
Prabhuji.
You all are inspiration for me. So I'm just learning from everybody on this call and from everywhere around in this beautiful organization that Srila Prabhupada has created for all of us. There are so many wonderful devotees, exalted Vaishnavas that we can all learn from each other. There's always many good qualities, but we can always look for one good quality in each other, and we can take inspiration and try to make our lives better and better and better every day, because we don't know when the last day will come. So let's make this day or every day as our best day. Thank you so much for your kind wishes. I'm hopefully joyed and praying at the lotus feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranitai to bless us all on this beautiful path, so that we can go back home, back to Godhead, hopefully in this lifetime itself. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you all. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनन्तकोटि वैष्णववृन्द की जय। जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद लीलामृत की जय। जय जय श्री राधे श्याम निताई गौर। हरि हरि बोल। Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Have a
Hare
everyone. Stay safe. Hare Krishna.